Hello and welcome to beautiful Sylvan Stadium. And I truly say that even with all the clouds in the sky, it is a beautiful day for baseball. My name is Connor Krauser. I'll be driving today to get you through this one here in Okotoks as the Dawgs take on the visiting Sylvan Lake Gulls. Of course, a battle for the top of the West Division standings, as it always is. And with the Dawgs falling last night to the Lethbridge Bulls and the Sylvan Lake Gulls winning their game against the Brooks Bombers, that just tightens up the top again. So the Dawgs are at top with a 23-11 record, but they're 6-3-1 in their last 10. Then we look down to Lethbridge, who we played last night. With their win, they go to 21-11, and they're on a 4-game win streak, 7-3 in their last 10. And then Sylvan Lake, they're winning 5 in a row. They're 1.5 games back at 21-12 on the season. Then, of course, we have the Energy City Cactus Rats, Port Warrior Giants, and Brooks Bombers rounding out the West Division. Of course, we're just over a week away from the WCBL All-Star Game that is set to take place from this same stadium here at Sylvan Stadium. Of course, that taking place next Saturday on the 15th. My brain's fully correct and getting my dates right. Rather, the 19th. So we will see you here for that All-Star Game then. But before we get to the All-Star Game, we have, of course, got to get through the rosters for today's baseball game. We'll start with the visiting Sylvan Lake Gulls. Tai Yukamoto is leading off. He'll be at short today, followed by Jordan Flores, the third baseman. Hitting in the 3-hole is Brock Tiarina. He's the DH today. Michael Quick, your right fielder, batting cleanup. Rowan O'Connor follows up. He'll be on second today. Simon Baker, he'll be in center, but he'll be batting in the 6th hole. Matt Bennett, he'll be at first in the 7th spot. Cam McLeod handling the catching today. And Bryce Hampton, not Brockhampton. This isn't a music concert, but he'll be out in left today for the Gulls. Then on the bump, it is going to be Matthew McKenzie. We'll talk a little bit more and their stats as they come to the field and to bat throughout today's schedule. But for the hometown Dawgs, it is a little bit of a rotated lineup, not fully rotated. Of course, looking to respond after giving up 6 errors. They made it interesting, lost in the bottom of the 9th, brought it back to within 1. But your lineup today, Ricky Sanchez in leading off. He'll be at short. Logan Grant not catching today. He'll be out in the left. Zane Scanzi not at second as he closed out yesterday's game. He's back out in right field. Leo Cote will be at first today. That'll move Nash Corral to DH, but he'll be coming up a little bit later. Connor Croson at the hot corner, batting 5th. Nash Kroll, he'll be the DH today. Jake Skaggs, he's in center field, hitting in the 7th spot. Aiden Rose looking to improve from last night's performance. Talking to a bunch of players and fans, can't remember the last time Aiden Rose had 2 errors in a game, let alone being involved in 3. And then handling the catching duties today and batting 9th is Chase Logan. And of course, the Dawgs ace already announced to the All-Star Game on the mound today, Austin Eaton. So that's how the Dawgs and Sylvan will line up. But as I said, it's always a tough battle when these two teams meet. Ever since the introduction of the Gulls back in 2021, this has been one of the premier matchups in the West Division. Of course, 2 of the most beautiful ballparks in Canada, calling home for both of these 2 squads. And it is always going to be a tough battle when Sylvan Lake comes down south. And as I said, it's a beautiful day for baseball, but it looks like one of our flags has actually wrapped itself around the flagpole and can't come detached. I'll give you a little bit of a weather report, not a full-blown one, but blown will play in. In Okotoks, it is 20 degrees Celsius, feels more like 16, and that's due to wind chill. With the partially cloudy and drizzly conditions, we are getting gusts up to 40 kilometers an hour. And so that is what's bringing the temperature down about 4 degrees here at field level. And by looking at the fields that are blowing out in the left center field, looks like the winds are blowing from right field to left on your broadcast dial. So that will have to be interested. So heads up on the Core 4 plus 14 corner patio. Might have some balls batted your way, and hopefully those of us who are families joining us on the berm, hopefully they're going to be paying attention. As you can even see in the meeting with the umpires handing over of the rosters, that both of these, you can see their pants and hoodies blowing. And in fact, I'm going to close our window in our broadcast location so you don't get the feedback from the beautiful gusty winds here in Okotoks today. But as I said, this is that top of the table battle. It's kind of been an interesting season in the West thus far. It really has been top three, bottom three, more than we've seen in recent seasons. But the winds and the little bit of drizzle not keeping the Dawgs fans away as they filter into Siemens Stadium today. But hopefully the Dawgs, you have to wonder if they hadn't committed 6 errors, what the results would have been last night. But gotta have a short memory if you are the Dawgs. And for the team from Sylvan Lake, the Gulls, they're just trying to keep their momentum going with that 5-game winning streak. You know, if it wasn't for the Blue Jays, they might be the hottest team in all of Canada. But I see my friend Logan's jumping onto the field. Hey Logan, why don't you take it away?
Thank you for coming out to a beautiful Siemens Stadium. I'm the Hughes with your promo crew. We've got a great game ahead of us as we welcome to our park, the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Now, your Dogs, they're going on a bit of a road trip, but we'll be back on Tuesday for an 8-game homestand. One of those games, add it to your calendar. Of course, the Okotoks Dogs will be hosting the Energy City Cactus Fest on July 20th. They will be here for their home game, and I look forward to seeing all of your smiling faces out here to support both them and, of course, your Okotoks Dogs. Now, speaking of the Dogs, let's get started with our pretty fine jewelry dog of the day. Fans, put your hands together for Chase Wessels. He's a senior from Bellevue University, originally from Carson, Washington. This is his first season with the Dogs. We're so glad he's here. Hey, last night, he came in as a reliever, throwing a total of 3 innings, 2 strikeouts, allowing 0 hits and 0 runs. He's been a great addition to the Dogs pitching staff. We are so excited to see that he is here. Congratulations, Chase. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, we got on the concourse of friends over at Arcan. It is, of course, camping season. If you want to get out on a brand new camper, trailer, something fun, be sure to visit our friends up there at Arcan. They do have a giveaway as well as coolers and mugs. Now, we hinted at it a little bit yesterday. We've got some Dogs on the All-Star team. We told you about 3 of them. Let's tell you the rest. Will Gardner, come out here. Tell us a little bit about this great day coming up here on the 19th.
Good evening, fans. Welcome to Siemens Stadium, and it is just about All-Star time right here at Siemens Stadium, July the 19th. If you don't have your tickets, get them. It is truly a baseball extravaganza, hosted right here in our beautiful home diamond. Nobody can host an All-Star game like Okotoks, and it is a phenomenal day starting at 5 o'clock with the Home Run Derby. Then at 7 o'clock is the best of the West versus the best of the East. Truly a day not to be missed. And we're delighted tonight to announce the remainder of your Okotoks All-Star selections. They will be representing you on the West team. We announced 3 last night, and I'm delighted to announce 4 additional players that will be participating in the All-Star game. First of all, let's congratulate Mr. Zane Scansey. Zane Scansey of the Okotoks Dogs on the West All-Star team. Zane comes to us from Gig Harbor, Washington, attends Campbellville University in Kentucky, He's among the league leaders in so many offensive categories. He's currently hitting .398, is among the leaders in hits, runs, and RBIs. Let's congratulate Zane on his selection. Also representing Dawgs will be Seth Kerr. Seth Kerr comes to us from Coaldale, Alberta. He attends the University of Montebello in Alabama. His current ERA is 2.65, and in 34 innings, he's thrown 27 Ks. Been a phenomenal starter, and Seth, congratulations on your selection to the West All-Stars. We're delighted to congratulate Connor Frozen. Connor Frozen, a hometown boy from right here in Okotoks, Alberta. He's currently hitting an even .400. And again, he is amongst the team, the league leaders in a number of hitting categories. We want to also take the opportunity to congratulate Connor. He has recently committed to Tennessee Tech and will be attending there in the fall. Connor, congratulations on being the West All-Star. And now, representing the Okotoks Dawgs in the home run derby. Who could do it better than Nash? Nash, best throw out! Of course, Nash is from Maryland, Nova Scotia. He will be representing us in the home run derby, and I'm excited to also announce he has just recently committed to Tennessee Tech. Let's congratulate our Okotoks Dawgs All-Stars for 2025. Now we're going to take just a moment. Gentlemen, the All-Stars from last night, come out and join them on the field. We want to get a group picture. Ladies and gentlemen, fans congratulate the All-Stars once again. And now up to the press box side. Let's have tonight's starting lineup.
All right, Okotoks Dawgs fans, it's time to introduce your starting lineup. Leading off, shortstop from Pittsburgh State University, number 8, Ricky Sanchez.
Hey, Rick.
Coming from Bellevue University, left fielder, number 35, Logan Bratt. From Campbellsville University, right fielder, number 12, Zane Staxi. From Oregon State University, first baseman, number 46, Leo Cote. From Tennessee Tech University, third baseman, number 10, Connor Bronson. Also coming from Tennessee Tech University, designated hitter, number 44, Nash Roll. From Pittsburgh State University, center fielder, number 3, Jake Stays. From the University of British Columbia, second baseman, number 5, Ian Rhodes. From Lynn Community College, catcher, number 16, Chase Logan. And he's starting pitcher for tonight, from Texas State University, number 37, Austin Eaton.
Now, fans, I'll ask you to run the parade. We will get the director of the city of Canada.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot in all of us command. we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
The singing voice of Breton Rose, as always, gets us going here in Okotoks. Of course, I introduced the two teams earlier, but I got a third team on the field that I got to introduce. That, of course, being your umpires. It's a little bit of a shuffled up crew from last night. Today it'll be Ty Pentland handling the home plate duties. Chris Hartley over at first. Ron Shuchuk is at second, and Brad Johnson, after handling the balls and strikes yesterday, gets the task of being the third base umpire tonight. So, all-star on the mound for the Dawgs, Austin Eaton, and there is a reason that he has been selected. He's only played in 4 games this year with 3 starts, but has a 2-0 record and a 1.80 ERA. Has been absolutely on fire. In fact, has only walked 2 batters so far this year and has 22 strikeouts. That's a decent enough ratio, 11-1. Only allowed 14 hits as well, so has struck out more batters that have made contact with the baseball this season. His first year with the Dawgs and first All-Star nod for Eaton. Eaton also has had some at-bats, 8 of them this year, but not DHing for himself today. We've had that a couple of games so far this season. So we'll have to see what All-Star Austin Eaton can do. That throw gets by Ricardo Sanchez on the throwdown, and the Dawgs looking to clean up the act after the 6 errors defensively. And of course that comes with a couple of substitutions. Leo Cote entering, and we also have Logan Grant out in left field. But we will head to the offensive numbers here for the Gulls, as leading things off for them is Tai Yukamoto. Yukamoto out of Waipahu, Hawaii, 5'8", attending Gonzaga. He'll take a called first strike, the first pitch of the game. Not surprising to see Eaton getting ahead in the count early. Eaton winds and deals. Grant can't steal that strike. 1-1. Yukamoto has batted well. He's batting at .348 on the season. 1 home run, 4 RBIs. But needs to keep this one in play, and it will drop. You saw Scansey running his way in, but couldn't get to that bloop single. And so the first man to the plate is the first man on base. It was a little bit of just a bloop single, perfectly placed in between Aiden Rose and Zane Scansey. So the leadoff man is aboard. He'll hand off to Jaden Flores. Flores batting at .338 and has quite a few extra bases this year. 4 doubles, a triple, and 6 home runs. Maybe he's man will be here next Saturday in that home run derby. As Eaton checks up on Yukamoto at first. Eaton delivers. And another hit, and that'll be flared out into right field as well. Scansey there quickly, and an early ambush here on Austin Eaton. First 2 batters have reached for the Gulls. This will bring the DH, Brock Tiarina. Out of Andrews, Texas. The left-handed batter steps in, none away, 2 runners on for the Gulls, looking to tack runs on early in that one. just missed the bottom of the strike zone for Eaton. And I said I'd be driving you the whole way, but we will have some Dawgs bodies come in here, guys that are maybe on a little bit on the mend or just had the day off. So we'll have Ashton Loera, Seth Gurr, the All-Star, and Benito Bonilla joining me later on today. That one bounced in, knocked down by Grant, and kept in front. Correction, Chase Logan, the catcher today, and I'm just so used to saying Logan Grant from yesterday. But no, 35's out in the left field, Conrad. Logan Grant, one of those guys you can say will play anywhere. Eaton takes a brief peek to second before delivering. Tiarina makes contact, but the wind will push that one off into the berm. 2-1 the count now to the DH, hitting in the 3-hole. I've always been a fan of if your DH is in that 3 to 4 hole. I'm always more of a fan of putting him in cleanup, but there's a reason that I'm in the press box not wearing a manager's shirt. The 2-1 to Eaton. Eaton once again checking up with the leadoff man, Yukimoto, at second. That one fouled off home plate. That'll bring the count to 2-2. Eaton has to know if he can get this strikeout, that'll mean that this very good interior defense for the Dawgs could potentially look to turn 2 to get him out of the inning. The delivery inside, count goes full. That was an off speed in and around the belt buckle level. Sent Tiarina doing the cha-cha slide to get out of the way. 3-2 count, none away here in the top of the first. Austin Eaton delivers. That one gets away, but it will be a walk regardless. And suddenly the bases are loaded. A flock of gulls surrounds all the bases. And none away here. High pressure right off the get-go. And that'll hand off to Michael Quick. Quick in only his 4th appearance so far this year. First game was the 4th of July appearance against Energy City. But have not lost with Quick in the lineup. Eaton just gonna approach Quick. Short hop, 1. Did they get both? They get 2. The run does score, but a tough play there from Ricky Sanchez. Kind of just had to shovel it over to Aiden Rose. They get 2, but the Gulls 4-1. Took that short hop off the edge of the grass. Ricky had to be sure-handed to make sure to get the play at second, and Aiden Rose, as I said, looking for a little bit of redemption after a 2-error game last night, got it to first. Off speed, the first offering here from Eaton. 0-1 the count here, Eaton. Looked like that might have been the same pitch. 0-2 for Austin Eaton, who offered just his 3rd free pass here already in this ball game. Eaton delivers high and outside. Let's go to 2-1. Using that high heat to maybe try and induce the swing, but could not get the new batter, Rowan O'Connor, get the bat off his shoulder. Rowan, high upright stance, fouls that one off. We'll go to the 2-1 all again. 6'3" out of Seattle, Washington, attending Gonzaga. So one of those big baseball schools. Played 27 games so far in the summer season, batting .309. See what Gonzaga likes about that. But he'll swing and miss at that one. And with loading the bases, the Dawgs only allow one to score. They limit the bleeding. We'll see how they answer when we return after these messages.
First inning is presented by Capital Direct, which specializes in home equity and residential mortgage finance for individuals in a variety of credit situations. Visit capitaldirect.ca to learn more today.
So another man who's got a low ERA comes to the mound for the Gulls, Matthew McKenzie, out of Vaughan, Nova Scotia, attending one of those pipeline schools for the WCBL at Colby Community College. He's appeared in 6 games, started 3, supposed to be his 4th start of the year. ERA of .325 across 19.1 innings pitched, almost a strikeout an inning, 18 on the year. 6 walks, but has been hit around a little bit more, offering up 21 hits. And Sanchez trying to ambush him on the first pitch he sees. Shot to short. Some quick throw across the infield. And Ricky Sanchez is retired. Ikumoto playing that short hop just like Ricky did in the home half. Or rather, the visitors half home on the field. That'll bring Logan Grant to the dish. As I said a couple of times this year, Logan Grant, one of the later additions to the roster. This will be game number 9 of the season for him. He's batting .290 thus far, and he'll take a called strike on the first pitch he sees. As I said, Logan Grant's one of those manager-loved players who can kind of play wherever you need him to. Kind of joked with him that we need to start the punch card for positions he hasn't played, or where you do the punch for the position that he has. And I think there'd probably be about 3 positions still left in that one. Those are the tougher to reach ones. Hasn't been the position player pitching yet, and swings the magic stick over that one. He's in a 1-2 hole. It's always tough when you look on Point Streak and the guy's listed as a catcher / infielder, but he's playing left today. And swings behind that one. A first strikeout of the afternoon here for Matthew McKenzie.
Now batting from Campbell University, right fielder, number 12, Zane Stansy.
And the newly announced All-Star, Zane Scansey, steps to the plate. As Will Gartner said, is leading in a lot of offensive categories. 7 home runs on the year, 30 RBI, and batting just shy of 400. Got a lot of that one. Will the wind assist it out of play? No, it'll bounce off the grass, but well foul. Bryce Hampton was close, but this isn't horseshoes or hand grenades where close matters. But that'll take the count to 0-1. McKenzie stares down Scansy. Scansy, good eye, watches that one fly into the left-handed batter's box. Yeah, Scansy's been one of those guys who comes in and has a fantastic year, both offensively and defensively, but swings well ahead of that off speed. 1-2. Seems the Dawgs always have those next man up each year. Some of these guys who come and play in Canada just for the 1 year. And McKenzie thought he had him, had already taken 3 steps off the mound. But Scansy says, I am not going down on that, and home plate, Ty Petland agrees, home plate umpire rather. And he will ring him up there, despite the grimace on the face of Scansy. The Dawgs go down 1-2-3 to end the first. We'll be back after these messages on FloCollege.
Are you looking for a fun and exciting way to keep your young ball player active this summer? The Dawgs are hosting 3 different 3-day summer camps, perfect for players of all skill levels. Whether your child is just starting out or looking to sharpen their game, we've got the right piece for them. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Visit the Dawgs ticket office or check our website for more details and register today.
So Austin Eaton got out of the scenario where he had the bases loaded, only surrendering the 1 run, looking to continue to limit the bleeding, and he'll have to stare down the second half of this Gulls lineup. So we're all the way down to Simon Baker. Baker is one of those guys who can come in and pitch, and has pitched fairly well this season, but also plays the outfield. Swings and misses over that first offering. 0-1. Baker, in his 27 games on the field, has batted a .271. And on the mound, he's been fairly good too, pitching a .192. Good eye from Baker there, as the offering from Eaton didn't quite catch the outside half of the plate. 1-1 the count. Baker, the Cochrane, Alberta native, swings over the top of that offering. He's down 1-2. Eaton generally going to be given freedom to paint around the edges when you're ahead 1-2. Eaton, the delivery. Baker just tips that one off, and you can tell that Eaton really wanted that one. He'll take a little bit of a wander off the mound, and not seeing any rain falling, so can't blame the grip on that. Eaton ascends to the top of the mound once again, staring down Simon Baker. Shook off one sign. He'll like the second one. Thought he had him there. did the full pirouette on the mound, wondering where that one missed. 2-2 now the count. The delivery. Baker fouls that one off. We'll go to 2-2 all over again. Eaton wondering what he has to do to get Baker back to his own dugout without reaching base. 2-2. Eaton kicks, delivers. Logan couldn't frame that one up, so we're back to full count. Full count pitch to Baker. Set to come. Baker chops that one. It will roll foul. Smart move there from Logan to put his glove on top of it, not give it a chance to roll back fair, as Baker had put on the Jets to go down the line. But he'll be forced to return and pick up his bat. He'll step back into the batter's box shortly. Grips those gloves a little bit higher up where that pine tar may be located. He'll step back in and we'll do the 3-2 all over again. Baker fouls it off. The battle continues. Long run for the Dawgs ball boy, or ball kid, I do believe today. I apologize. 3-2. Baker in this battle. Fouls off another one right off the top of the netting. Ball kid will need to bring some more balls to Ty Pentland. And Baker and Eaton in quite the battle here. Neither one flinching so far. Logan throws up the glove and Baker spoils another one. Ball kid runs out some more balls to Tyler Pentland because Simon Baker has found new homes for about 7 baseballs. Just free souvenirs. Full count yet again. And that will be a walk issued after there were a few calls there that were disagreed with by Austin Eaton. And once again, the leadoff batter for the Gulls is aboard. That'll bring Matthew Brandt to the dish. In 26 games, he's batting at .221. Has put 1 over the fence and 3 doubles in this summer series. Ooh, and that's a quick pickoff attempt. Tag applied by Cote, not in time. Baker does have 6 stolen bases on the season and does have a longer than usual primary lead. That one a little inside. Forced Matthew Brandt to try and get skinny to try and not get in the way of that baseball. It's a problem. A lot of these guys in the WCBL are getting their toes right to the front of the batter's box, so they're real in close to the plate. Pitchers sometimes will force them to back off a little bit. This one knocked up the middle, and it'll bounce over the second base bag. That'll be runners on the corners. And Jake Skaggs kind of booted that one away as he tried to pick it up off the turf. But it will just be runners on the corners. Gulls threatening often, threatening early. Not much either of the central infielders can do there. Just a well-hit baseball right over the top of the mound, right over that second base bag. That'll hand off to Cam McLeod, the catcher today out of North Van, British Columbia. Attending Cloud Country Community College. That one will bounce off Chase Logan, and the Gulls will score another run. So scoring on I think that will be called a wild pitch. Not a pass ball. That's a tough one there for Austin Eaton to swallow. So now the Dawgs trail by 2. Eaton, first pitch or second pitch of the at-bat, and a fly all the way out to Zane Scansey. Scansey will make the play. Runner will go. That's a long throw. Cut off by Ricky Sanchez. So one away, but the runner does advance to third base. So down to the 9 hole with Bryce Hampton. And the Gulls looking to use the secondary leadoff hitter, I've heard it referred to as, when you have somebody who's batting around 300 in that 9 hole in Bryce Hampton. And Hampton chopped that one just foul. Tag will be applied just in case it was ruled to not be a foul ball. So 1-1 the count to Bryce Hampton. Hampton, 4 doubles and a home run on the season. Has walked 7 times, but has struck out 11. Eaton hoping he can add to that stat. The 0-1 delivery. Swung on and missed. So we'll call it a swinging strike. Eaton ahead 0-2. They'll pull the center infielders in. Lots of space up the middle of the infield. And again, we've seen a couple of these out of the hand of Austin Eaton nearly get away from Chase Logan today, but stop that one. So another Gulls run sitting potentially just 90 feet away. Eaton shakes off the first sign, likes the second. I thought that was at the knees. Ty Petlin disagrees. 2-2 the count. And Hampton, he's got his toes right on the lines of that right-handed batter's box. Fouls off the 2-2 pitch. We'll do it all over again. Two and two the count to Hampton in his first at bat. Gulls have brought the full order through. That one's chopped up the middle. Sanchez will look at the runner. Then the throw will get away, so they'll take the out at first, but the hot throw home couldn't get there in time. 3 runs. Ooh, and that's a tough call. No, they're gonna take that error off the board. Yeah, they're gonna take that one off the scoreboard. Will not be an error assessed to Cote. So the bags are now empty, but the Gulls have opened up a 3-0 lead early here over your hometown Dawgs. Against most batters, that probably would have been a strike, but to the shorter leadoff man, Yakamoto, that's going to be a ball. That one just outside. Yakamoto ahead 2-0. Single to right in his first at bat of the game, and it's always good when you have your leadoff man seeing 2 plate appearances in the first 2 innings. And Eaton just misses high and outside. If I was Austin Eaton, I would have come down the mound a little bit to ask where that one missed. That one finds the outside half. 3-1 the count. That wasn't coming off of Yakamoto's shoulders at all there. Yakamoto batting a .375. Fouls that one off onto the berm. And the count has been worked full after 3 straight balls. A called strike and a foul has brought us where we are now, 3-2 with 2 away. Here in the top of the second, the Gulls lead 3-0 over the Okotoks Dawgs. Yakamoto chops that one to Cote. Cote flips to Eaton. And that will be all she wrote, but not before the Gulls score a pair. They lead 3-0. Will the Dawgs respond when we return after these messages? You'll have to find out.
Dawgs fans, don't forget that the 2025 WCBL All-Star Game is being hosted right here, Saturday, July 19th. This game features a foreign derby, an East versus West battle, player autographs, face painting, post-game fireworks shows, and more. This will be the last All-Star Game hosted by the Dawgs for a number of years, so be sure to stop by the office tonight, purchase your tickets, and be part of the fun.
The second game is presented by Quiggles Brewery. Scoop and joy since 1969.
So the Dawgs looking to wake up the bats a little bit here as we head to 4th in the order, which is Leo Cote. This is my first opportunity seeing Leo Cote this year. The Cote out of Sherbrooke, Quebec, attending Oregon State, so big commit obviously, and he'll step into that left-handed batter's box eventually with that bright red bat matching the rest of the Dawgs. And the Red Red Wine walk-up song matches the rest of the gear. That's quite a stance from Leo Cote. Takes a called strike on the outside portion. Squats right over and very active with the bat with those orange, or the beaver orange gloves, attending Oregon State obviously. Swings at that first ball. Will it be a wind assist? And it will. It is off the wall of the core 4. Oh, and they're going to say it's a home run. It went on to the top of the core 4 and bounced back. So a solo shot for Leo Cote. As I said, wind assisted to the top of the core 4. Trying to pump up Connor Croson as he crosses the plate. That's all it takes when you have the gusting winds here in Okotoks. Put it in the air and let the wind do its thing. So the Crow Show steps into the batter's box. As we talked about yesterday, recently committed to Tennessee Tech University. And they're going to say he didn't touch third, did Cote. Safe is the call. Better to check up and have it called safe, because sometimes you'll get a free out that way and wipe the run off the scoreboard. Croson saw that about nose level. He'll lean out of the way. 1-0 the count to Connor. Takes that one on the outside corner. He'll nod and say, I see it now. His first plate appearance of the day so far. 1-1 delivery. Connor swings over the top. 1-2. And as I can see here, I don't know if our broadcast angle shows it, the flags flying and showing that there is quite a wind going from right to left. That one's down in the dirt. So let's make the count 2-2. The 2-2 to the man playing the hot corner today for the Dawgs. Fouls that one off, a little bit of a safety swing. So we'll do the 2-2 all over again as the Dawgs ball kid goes and grabs the one that made its way all the way back for the backstop. Croson steps in. McKenzie likes the first sign he sees, delivers. Croson chops it back up the middle. He gets by McKenzie, and it'll get past the outstretched glove of O'Connor. And Croson finds his way aboard. Way to extend the battle there from Connor. And he'll pass it off to his teammate. Now attending, or his change his commitment was going to Reinhardt, but will join Connor Croson at Tennessee Tech next year. And as they announced in the pregame, going to attend the home run derby. And with one swing of the bat like that, but in a little bit different launch angle, that could have been a tie ball game, but Nash Kroll swings at the first pitch he sees and puts another runner on. 2 on, none away for the Dawgs here in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up yet another lefty in Jake Skaggs to the dish. 31 games played so far. Batting average of .324 for Jake. 3 doubles, 1 triple, and 2 home runs on the year. Croson at second, Kroll at first, and that one well outside. Out of Springsteen, Missouri, Jake Skaggs. Skaggs lays down the bunt, but it'll go foul. Like the idea there from Skaggs. I don't think we've really seen him square to bunt much this year. And gets the clap from Connor Croson, appreciating putting the needs of the team ahead of his power average. Also a menace on the bags, his 15 stolen bases so far this year. Check on Croson briefly. Skaggs swings over that one. 1-2 the count. Went to the off speeds and Skaggs was way out ahead. As the wind whips here in Okotoks from right field to left across the diamond. Checks up on Croson. Skaggs puts this one into right field. Croson will tag up. Gonna test the arm here from Quick. The throw not in time. So the long fly will advance Croson. And that'll hand off to Aiden Rose. As I said, a redemption, or I guess it wouldn't really be redemption, but revenge for yesterday, probably in his mind. The Calgary native attending UBC did get pulled early yesterday, so looking to make amends. That one inside. Rose slowly backs out of the way of Cam McLeod. Rose knows anything hard hit out in the outfield will likely bring the Dawgs within 1. Long leadoff, and for the second day in a row, we're going to see the Nash dash. A stolen base for Nash. Kroll will take away the double play ball. That's a lot of muscle on its way to second base there for the steal. 2 steals in 2 games for Nash, as that one catches the top corner. 2-1. Two and one away. Aiden Rose at the dish. Connor Croson at third. Rose puts this one along the ground. Oh, and that eats up the second baseman. No throw. So that will likely be called an error, but the runners will still be on the corners, and the Dawgs now only down one, and Kroll saying this ball's still live. I'm going to dance around, and it will be scored an E4, but just a good piece of hitting there from Aiden Rose. So Chase Logan will step into the dish now. The Lynn Benton Community College out of Oyen, Alberta, batting .250 on the year. Swings to the first pitch he sees, and that one waking up the bullpen for the Dawgs. It seems to be the Dawgs mentality. If you're gonna swing early in the count. Try and ambush the pitcher before he can start playing mind games with the speed, and Logan's made contact twice, and a good catch made by one of the substitutes on the bench for the Gulls. So Logan down 0-2. Has Kroll at third and Rose at first. Just trying to avoid hit up the middle of the infield. That one's inside, and actually it hit the batter, so the base is going to be full of Dawgs. So that's a way to get aboard. And we'll see a mound visit here. So Ricky gonna meet with his long-term teammate, Nash Kroll, talk about what he saw. So it is Jason Shatwood in charge of this Gulls squad. Once again, general manager and head coach out of Innisfail, Alberta. So that'll bring Ricky to the dish with only one away. Bases full of Dawgs. Ricky Sanchez, only only 4 home runs in his Okotoks Dawgs career. Can he add to that one here? Takes a called first strike right down Main Street. 0-1. Ricky struggled at the dish last night and went 0-for. So trying to just put a ball in play here. Tried to just pitch that one out into the outfield, but it'll fly foul. Yet another souvenir for a Dawg fan in attendance. Corners playing in a little bit on Ricky with the bases full of Dawgs. Ricky in an 0-2 hole, however. Chokes up on the bat slightly. Just wants to get it through the infield. Tying run only 90 feet away. But Sanchez spins out of his shoes and he strikes out. So 2 away for the Dawgs. So that will bring out Logan Grant. Grant around that 300 mark every year he's been in the WCBL with the Dawgs. Of course, as I mentioned, the late joining this year has only played in 8 games so far. That's as many as he played in the playoffs last year for the Dawgs. Batting about the same, around 290, batted 280 in the playoffs. Gonna call that a strike. Bounced off the equipment here for Cam McLeod. Big opportunity here for Logan Grant. In his 8 games, he does have 2 home runs, and the wind's starting to whip, so if you can fly it out to left, just push it out there, See what the wind will do. Takes a call on the outside corner that he doesn't agree with. Logan Grant down 0-2. Matthew McKenzie trying to get out of this sticky situation. Bases manned by Dawgs. That one, 5-hole stop there by McLeod. 1-2 here for Grant. Logan Grant out of Chestermere, Alberta. Grant swings and misses, but it is a drop third strike, but they'll just step on home plate. The Dawgs get 2, but they leave the bases loaded. We'll be back.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Conrad Krauser here, joined by Ashton Laware. I just left your mic a little too hot, Ash. But Ashton, yet to play this year, kind of rehabbing a little bit. Welcome back to Okotoks.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
So, let's talk a little bit about the rehab process and getting back. I hear you're eyeing a return here soon, so picked up.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Access Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Team total right now.
Yeah, but a lot of guys, when that injury happens, especially when you're not an Okotoks local, you'll say, should I go home? But you've been really committed to staying here with this program, and it's not gone unnoticed by everyone in the program. What does it mean to be here in Okotoks for you?
It means a lot, it's more than just the facilities and the coaching outlets being better than, what I have back home.
Yeah.
But it's also the atmosphere and, staying after game where I've been. That kind of atmosphere just drives me to, work better, work harder and all that. So on top of all the great facilities that they have here, it's just the atmosphere that Okotoks has.
Yeah, it truly is a special ballpark out here in southern Alberta, and we had weather that maybe you were a little bit more used to yesterday. It was one of the hot ones, a little bit of taste of home last night as we're in a 1-1 count.
Oh yeah, it was hot, real hot yesterday.
Not used to having those here in southern Alberta all that often.
No, not at all.
Usually
nice.
Usually the hottest thing is the fireball coming out of your finger.
Yeah.
But we got quite a bullpen out there this year. Talk about a little bit about the other arms that you're seeing out there every day. It's seemed to have been a tighter knit group.
Yeah, we got a real good group of guys this year. I mean, we did last year, but this year's just same, real special. We've had, Alex Oliver, who's taken over kind of my role as a closer. He's really stepped up. We have Austin Eaton here too, who all-star. Pitched great. He has real good velocity on his stuff, and his off speed's just real sharp. 2-2
offering here, and he'll get his first strikeout of the game. You willed it into existence there for your battery mate. But let's also say something about the depth of the catchers we have. Obviously, lost Lou early in the year, but you got a lot of guys. Like you got Logan Grant out in left today. You got Chase Logan handling the catching today. Like, let's talk about the guys you get to throw to all these innings.
I love throwing the Logan Grant, you know, LG. I mean, he works hard, and when he's back there, he works 2 times harder. You know, he looks like he'll run through a brick wall for a ball, you know.
Yeah.
And he's a vet. He knows the game really well. He knows when to call pitches, where to put them real well. So I never had really any problems shaking him off or anything.
Yeah, and Chase Logan, obviously a guy who's won a college World Series this year. That one's put blooped into center field. Are those the ones that bug you when it's just a little bloop single?
Yeah, I mean, you can only let it bug you for a little bit, you know, 5 seconds, be like, dang, that sucks. You know, he got lucky, but at the end of the day, you won that, I bet. You know, soft contact, you know, usually an out, just got lucky through a hole. Can't let it bother you.
But back to your catchers, and especially when you're just ramping back up, having guys that are top quality catchers to understand, like, I know this is a bullpen, and it's not necessarily my most fun thing to do, especially when the weather gets cold. But for those guys to put in that time with all of our pitching staff here, it's got to make it a little bit easier.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the time that even Chase has already put with me through my rehab process, just playing catch with me, he's already kind of gotten to know my stuff and kind of seeing how he catches. And then Areola as well, you know, he always catches my bullpens. Even last year before I would go into pitch, he would catch me all the time. So
pickoff attempt there. That's one of the things that's deceptive about Austin Eaton is how quick that pickoff move is.
It's quick. He's a quick guy too.
Yeah. But there's a reason he's an all-star too, keeping that ERA down low, and just gets this weak contact there, fouled off. And how much confidence do you have? Like, you got a guy like Ricky Sanchez in his 5th year, Aiden Rose, your second baseman, who outside of yesterday, a defensive stalwart. But does that give you confidence knowing if it's going up the middle, you got 2 guys who can turn double plays in their sleep sometimes, it looks like?
Oh, yeah. Like, if I ever get a ball that's up the middle and I turn around real quick, I mean, with those 2 guys up there, I never assume that it's...
What a snag by Cote. Gets the knee on the bag, can't make the throw, but oh boy, what a snag there on the hot shot up the line. Oh, are they gonna say that was a foul ball?
Yeah, they got it.
Oh boy, that's tough. It is a 1-2 count. I thought that was a phenomenal play.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a good play by him.
And that's Leo. That's a guy that isn't your everyday first baseman.
No.
Of course, obviously, we talk about how much depth this dog squad has. Every guy, if they're put in the lineup, can make plays like that. And here, that'll be 2. 1, 6. Oh, and that one gets away from Leo. It'll bounce away.
We got 2, though.
Play it 2. Tag is made, so it will be an extended double play. As I said, the guys up middle can sometimes make the play for you. I'll be back with more from Ashton when we return after these messages.
Dawgs, it's now time for all of my favorite promos. This is Leopold's Pint Toss. We've got Aaron Sheeler, contestant today. Make some noise for Aaron. She's up in the big sky box celebrating her son's 18th birthday. And a chance at $100 in vehicles right now if you can get a ball into the ball. Here we go. Go for it. Yeah. Run on. Boom.
So once again, the Dogs will come to the dish, but we still got Ashton Loera. So you usually are being a closer, so you don't have to deal with the sun that's at this field. Because it is kind of a weird position for, especially for righties, when you're having to do check up at first and you're looking right into the sun.
Yeah, I dealt with that for maybe a month out here when I was pitching the 7th, but once I became the closer, it was just nighttime all the time. It was kind of nice.
And Zane Scansey swings over the top of that. And how awesome is it to have guys like Zane that are batting around 400 offensively for you?
It's so fun to watch. It's like watching a guy who should be in the minor leagues already just hitting for us. It's awesome seeing him, 7-8 home runs.
And being one of the youngest guys on the squad as well. So he's down in an 0-2 spot here.
He's good in this spot too, yeah.
That's true. Let's see what Scansey does here. Pops it up. Does it get into the bullpen? It looks like it will bend its way out there. That's always got to be one of the more anxious moments in this bullpen, because you do get a fair few of them with the location outside the Duvernay Fieldhouse. Oh, and you're probably waiting for next year with that next stage of the renovations, where the indoor facilities are getting a little bit more of an upgrade for some more of the off-field throwing.
Yeah, it's like every time I come back up here, there's something new to look at. It's real.
And that was just a bit outside. Yeah. That's when you look at your hand and you look at your nails and you're like, did I lose a fingernail on that one? That's got to be tough as a batter too. You're like, well, now I have to count on that maybe.
That's a real fun time to just do that.
That was a tough call right at the top of the strike zone. Not something you'll see very often as Zane Scansey striking out. 3rd K of the day here for Matthew McKenzie. And that'll bring Leo Cote to the dish. That's one of the more unique walk-ups that almost runs into the batter's box.
Yeah. Him and OG unique walk-ups.
Yeah, and he's got those Oregon Beaver orange gloves on.
Yep.
Think he's proud of that commitment?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he is. I would be too. I see why he's there too. Good take.
We saw it on the play at first, and that's a tough take there, as you said, just right on the outside corner. Real active in the batter's box too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wanted to send that one onto the bridge.
Oh yeah, in batting practice, he takes that exact same swing and he sends it to the road. So wouldn't be surprised if he does it in game.
And with that bright red baseball bat too. Got some guys with some style on this squad. You got Barry with the orange and teal cleats, and obviously Leo, the orange gloves, bright red bat.
Everybody's got their own swag,
Cote puts that one off onto the berm. So I had a talk with some of your catchers, and they said, when you get on the bus, you're the snack guy. What's the go-to for you when you're getting on the bus?
Usually it's something from the spread, but I personally like the gummies,
Are you like a Sour Patch Kids?
I like Sour Patch Kids, or like the fruit snack gummies that the spread gives us, fruit snacks, candies, any of that. I think gummies really good.
Got a little bit of the sugar.
Yeah, I got a sweet tooth.
Cote drives that one in the left field. Going to be a more difficult play because of the wind, and it does get down. So, as I said, the wind is swirling. It's got to be tough for those guys out in left, but a second fielding error has allowed Dawgs to get on base. I don't think you're going to ever argue with getting a guy on base in front of the Connor Frozen.
No, not at all. He's, our playoff guy.
Yeah. You get to hear my call of his home run every time you walk out onto this ball field. Yeah. And for him to come back and bat 400 after last year, when he didn't think he could do it all.
He lives up to the hometown hero name.
Yeah, he does. I'll polish that one off from time to time, but and as we were talking about before the game, getting the big new commit to Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, that's really huge. Him and Nash.
Yeah, get your hot corner and your first baseman, play all summer together, and then play their school year together.
I'm sure Tennessee Tech's going to appreciate having those two guys.
And I have a hard time taking Connor seriously sometimes when I'm talking to him. He's a little bit of a jokester.
Oh, yeah.
And Nash is the same way.
Oh, yeah.
So get personality to go along with very talented baseball players, but Croson swings over the top of that offering.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm just on the one end of that silly, goofy side and not having to be on the bump against him, you know?
Oh, yeah. So it's a tough out, Connor Croson. 1-2. That might have been the least convincing Connor Croson swing we've seen in a while. That's the fourth strikeout here for Matthew McKenzie. So he's got his stuff going, and he's not a big, tall pitcher, but seems to still get some decent velo.
Yeah, he seems to be doing good, especially when he's up 1-2 in these counts. Takes advantage of being ahead.
Yeah, and we've seen Easton kind of, once he gets ahead, it's painting around the edges, but definitely seems like McKenzie's attacking the strike zone a little bit more. But speaking of Nash Kroll, he'll step in and oof.
Real good hack.
Real good hack, just a little bit behind, and Nash doesn't hit a lot of balls to left. Gonna try and use some of the wind to pull this one probably towards that core 4 patio.
There we go.
That will not get through, and throw is in time. Dogs go down, and I'll keep you for one more half an inning, Ash, and we'll be back after these messages.
Fourth meeting is proudly presented by Service Canada, Service Right Union, supporting Alberta's families, farmers, and entrepreneurs with advice that helps you deal with broker money. Service Credit.
So another half. Of course, I mute myself to hit the button twice. Another half inning here with Ash Laura. So Ashton, you always have this headband on that has the pink ribbons, and that's in honor of your aunt and been a couple health scares. So obviously the Dogs do our breast cancer awareness game, but figured I'd let you talk a little bit about that cause that means so much to you.
Yeah, so my aunt has fought breast cancer twice now, I believe, and before I started wearing the headband, she had a little scare going, so I thought, why not get a headband that matches my swag, because I already had like the pink laces on my cleats, so thought pink on pink would be nice, so I bought the headband. Turns out she didn't have breast cancer, which was great, but ever since I had the headband, I've just never stopped.
Support doesn't end just because the awful factor that is cancer stops, right? So that was a first pitch ambush here, and Eaton again has the leadoff runner reach base. But we also talked a little bit, as the pickoff attempt doesn't even get the courtesy tag. Talked a little bit about this, though, in between innings, about how some of the guys, when they come to Okotoks, they come from super regionals where they get less than 100 people, then come into Okotoks where opening day, 8,000, Canada Day, north of that. It's additional pressure, but it's more fun when you have all the families coming and cheering you on.
Oh, 100%. Like Canada Day and even the playoffs, when everyone starts knowing, how valuable these games are and starts getting a little more into it. you know, when you're home, everyone's cheering for you, so it really amps you up. And, you know, when you go away on those away games, everyone's cheering against you, and that amps me up just as more. So those fans just, they don't make me nervous. You know, they make me just more excited to play.
Pressure makes diamonds. Isn't that the saying?
I think that's the saying, yeah.
And the Dawgs, like, it's tough. Like, last night against Lethbridge and today against the Gulls, it's always tough when these big Western teams come in and, you know, you're trying to get a result.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are big games, you know. Lethbridge, you know, we'll see them in the playoffs, you know. With Sylvan, we'll see them in the playoffs. So getting these wins early, you know, establishing ourselves and getting those wins to get the playoff spots, you know, better playoff spots are big.
Getting that advantage of staying at home as often as you can. And
oh yeah, it was big last year having those game threes, being at home all 3 series, you know.
And even when you've had to win away from home, obviously my brain goes back to the Ricky Sanchez bunt single to get the win in Sylvan, as that one's fielded by Rose over to first. 1 away. And I'll say this about Aiden Rose as we see him make the play. It's a back to basics day almost, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, when he's over there, it seems to me he's always making some sort of spectacular play. And he's not making too many, like, routine plays.
No.
Today it seems he's more, you know, back to the roots of just basic infielding.
Yeah, and as I said earlier in the broadcast before you joined me, I was talking to guys like Brody Forno, who's played with him since they were about 8 years old.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember a time when he had 2 errors in a game, so trying to bounce back.
Yeah.
Speaking of bouncing, bounced that one off the plate.
Since I've known him, he's been a great defender, and we even faced him actually over at Oklahoma Wesleyan during Super Regionals at UBC, and we actually ended up taking a loss against them. And Rose,
did he let you know it?
No, he was real humble. I said what's up to him before the game, and we were like, "What's up?" I gave my coach a scouting report on him, and he still ended up hitting the ball really hard that day. But defensively, he was lights out, you know, usual Rose.
Yeah, that one. The off speed gets in for a strike. So let's talk a little bit about this year in college for you, because we know you as a closer here in Okotoks, but had to stretch out a little bit as a starter this year.
Yeah, so they gave me this. So I was the starter, so I ended up, really having to get my stamina up compared to out here.
Yeah, pitched a few more innings, and you said you were that day 3 starter in a traditional collegiate rotation. So.
Yeah, game 3, so, you know, it was a nice little, like, ambush, you know, catch them, like, late in the series, you know, we're already up, like, 2-0, you know, so.
Usually up 2-0, of course.
Up for the most part. But I had a lot of fun starting. It was just a lot different than out here for sure.
1-2, swung on and missed. Austin Eaton, his second K of the day, went to the off speed there. It's tough because if I'm remembering correctly, it's a 93 top out fastball and a high 70s change. So
yeah, his stuff moves quick. I mean, it might be, you know, it looks quicker than that 93 sometimes when he's really reaching back. So I can imagine he can get ahead and establish that fastball early. That's what he's usually really good at.
So Ashton, with 2 away here in the top half of the 4th, we're looking forward to seeing you back on the bump soon, as that one's a called ball. Because quickly you've developed into a fan favorite, and as you said, people always walking up to you after the games wondering when you'll be back, and so we'll be happy to have you back out on the mound after the rehab process. And
very excited.
And the wind seems to have switched directions. That one might be aided, but Jake Skaggs makes the catch as he so often has. Ashton, once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you when you're back on the field in a couple weeks.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
We would thank you to Leading Edge Video Therapy. We've got some t-shirts for some fans in the stadium here. Are there any fans that would like a free t-shirt? Make sure you make some noise. Let's go!
mechanical field ball suite, and the power car stairs booth on access first base both and patio, and the central auto care group out from our central and 4-4 main patio. If you're interested in booking a group event at Stadium, stop by and call our ticket office at 403-262-3254.
So we return to the home half of the fourth with the Dogs trailing 1. Once again, thank you to Ashton Luetta for joining us, obviously out of New Mexico. But it will be Jake Skaggs, just made the play to end the top of the fourth, and now got to get the heart rate back down and get into the batter's box. One and 0 the count. I apologize, scoreboard had a little bit of an issue there once again, but Skaggs puts this one into left field. That'll go down for extra bases. It'll rattle around. It will be a stand-up double. Not even, well, maybe an unnecessary slide, but gets a little bit of shale in the jeans, and a leadoff double for Jake Skaggs.
Now batting from the University of British Columbia, second baseman, number 5, Aiden Rose.
And Aiden Rose will step into the batter's box now. Trying to follow up that leadoff double. Tying run now only 180 feet away. Oh, and that one, Rose squared to bunt, gets under the bat, but it is going to be a called strike. Rose sets up his timing lines. And he knows he's got a lot of speed at second. That one up and away. Let's take the count to 1-1. Rose puts that one up high in the Okotoks skies. Infield fly. That one won't touch the ground. One away. So we'll head to Chase Logan in the 9-hole. As I said, a lot of speed out there at second. 15 stolen bases for Jake Skaggs on the air. That one will be chopped towards second. Logan will advance the runner. So 2 away, but a runner at third for the Dogs. So tried to ambush the first pitch he saw from Matthew McKenzie. We'll head to the top of the lineup. And Ricky Sanchez, he's 0-4 on the day. He'll look to put a charge in this baseball and allow Jake Skaggs to make his way in. And as I've said too often the last 2 days, Ricky Sanchez takes a first pitch called strike. Sanchez, bloop single, will score the game-tying run, and just a great piece of hitting there from Ricky to score. Skaggs easily, and the Dogs have tied the baseball game. Again, sorry about the scoreboard, folks. Sometimes the buttons don't react when I'm pressing them.
Number 35, Logan Grant.
So Logan Grant looking to continue this 2-out rally and allow the Dogs to take their first lead of the game. Called strike there for Grant. Short lead from Sanchez, but he does have speed to burn. Grant looked like he was squaring the bunt, but pulled it back, gets a called ball. One and one, the count for Logan Grant. Swings it down, offering, and it's up high in the Okotoks sky. It'll be well in the region of Quick, and Quick makes the catch. But the Dawgs score a run to tie this ball game. We'll be back for the top of the fifth when we return. So another inning of action for Austin Eaton. However, it looks like we are seeing some action on the Sylvan side of things. I can't see if anyone there. Looks like there's some band workouts starting over for the Dawgs. Bryce Hampton in his second at bat takes a called first strike. Austin Eaton, and as I said, we're gonna have a few guests. I am just waiting on Seth Gurr to join us up here in the broadcast booth, as that one's fouled off. Suddenly Austin Eaton ahead 0-2. Sylvan does look like they have a few more bodies than usual in their bullpen or in their dugout. I thought or Pentland, I apologize, doesn't agree, and that's why he's closer to the action than I am. 2-1 for Eaton. For Austin Eaton, one away for the Gulls. But that will head it back to the top of the order to Tai Yukamoto. Waipahu, Hawaii, attending Gonzaga. I thought that caught the outside corner. Disagreement. Count goes to 1-0. Yukamoto 1 for 2. Led off the game with a single. Fouls that one up the first base line. Obviously a lot of Japanese bloodlines in Hawaii, including with Yukamoto. I want to go back to Hawaii. 1-1 the count. Catches the outside corner on Yukamoto. 1-2 the count. Can Eaton add to his account today? That one's a little too low. We'll go to 2-2. Logan says, I liked where that was located. Let's try and just elevate a little bit. Yukamoto chops that one to third. Croson makes the grab. And a good snag by Cote. 2 away for the Gulls in the top of the fifth. Good play there from Connor Croson to get it across to Leo Cote. First pitch in on Flores. Called a strike. Flores also 1 for 2. The 0-1 delivery here. Doesn't catch the outside corner. 1-1 the count. The All-Star Eaton took a little bit of a wander off the backside of the mound. Now back to the top. No runners on for Sylvan and 2 away. That one down in the dirt again. 2-1 the count here for Flores. Jaden Flores, 2-1, seeing Austin Eaton well. Eaton yanked that one to the batter's box. Eaton going to communicate with his infielders a little bit. Trio of veterans and Leo Cote. The 3-1 to Flores, and yanked that one and didn't look overly comfortable. And he's taken a full walk all the way off the mound, so might be a little bit of a point to the bullpen to try and tell someone to hustle up and hurry up. And yeah, they are going to pull Savannah. Yeah, it looked like there was some discomfort there for the All-Star, and obviously concern for the health of the pitcher as he took a wander all the way off the mound. But you gotta send the athletic therapist back to the dugout. So the walk with 2 away, and you have to think Eaton may be relieved a little bit earlier than he would have wanted, as you're going to want to preserve the arm of someone you're going to rely upon a lot moving forward this season. That'll be the DH, Brock Tiarina, now stepping into the batter's box. That one outside to Tiarina. Tiarina in 24 games, batting .276. Frisco, Texas native delivers. Can't find the bottom of the strike zone. 2-0. Eaton being a little bit more deliberate now. Taking lots of time between pitches. After offering the free pass. Delivers. Called strike at the bottom of the strike zone. 2-1 for Austin Eaton. 2-1 the count. Eaton trying to get out of the inning. Runner goes. Play is at second, not in time. So we'll take the count to 3-1. So 3-1 here for the All-Star Austin Eaton. We'll be talking with another one of the Dawgs All-Stars when we return in the home half of the fifth. Eaton trying to get out of this one. Strike on the inside corner, gets the count to full against the DH, Tiarina. Tiarina gathers himself. And obviously the runner did advance as Eaton not going to worry about the man on base, looking at the man in the batter's box. The count is full. Runner goes, but that will be a walk to Tiarina. Ball is live. Runner's coming home. Plays at the plate. Tag applied. They're saying he's safe. I don't know if I agree with that, but the run does score. Heads up, base running there. And the Gulls now lead once again. Yeah, I have a feeling, yeah, Mitch Schmidt will come out of the dugout to stand up for his pitcher. This ball was very clearly in the glove, and I thought the tag was applied cleanly. Tough to make that call reverse, though, without video replay here in the WCBL. But obviously, good to see Mitch out standing up for his pitchers. As he's got a few of them on his management staff, obviously, so. And I think it's good that Mitch went out, because I think if it was Lou Pote going out there, Lou might be watching the rest of the game from the renovated Duvernay Fieldhouse. But Mitch is asking him to talk with the rest of this very veteran staff of umpires. Petland obviously was the closest to the play, but he's got Chris Hartley at first, Ron Shuchuk, one of the veterans of this league, and Brad Johnson, two senior guys at second and third. And they are going to say he is safe. And Mitch is can argue his case a little bit more. But the Big Bear is, not going to agree. He's not going to argue and get himself tossed early in this game. Oh, and they're calling for Savannah to the Gulls dugout. So Savannah has been active today. But yeah, as I said, the Gulls have taken their lead back here in the top of the fifth. This is one of those games where you might see the under protest on the score sheet from Mitch. But 0-2 Eaton trying to get out of the fifth inning of work. Delivers. That one's chopped in the direction of Croson. Connor snags the ball, throws across, and in time, Connor Croson gets the Dawgs out of the inning with a clutch play from third. We'll be back with the Dawgs half and Seth Gurr when we return after these messages. So before we talk with All-Star Seth Gurr, a pair of changes as Justin Flores has been pulled from the game. I think that might have been why Savannah was heading out there. And Matthew McKenzie, he only goes 4 before changing it up. But we'll talk to about that a little bit later. Seth, thank you for joining me. The Girthquake. I think that's one of the best nicknames I've heard in the WCBL.
Thank you so much. It is very nice to be here on the stream. It's very nice to be on the Okotoks Dawgs. It's very nice that special nickname has caught a little bit of a ride. So, yeah,
and when they saw you go off the mound, but we'll talk about that and the rehab process, which is gonna begin here. But let's first talk about your teammate Zane Scansey, leading in so many offensive categories for the Dawgs this year. What does it mean to have a guy like that, being able to count on him as he takes a called strike?
I mean, Zane has been an absolute guy for us. All his stats speak for itself. He's a great dude. And honestly, I think a lot of the success from this team comes from the chemistry that we have on this team. You're not only recruiting guys because of their skill level, but you're also recruiting them for how good of people they are and how well they can play with the team. And honestly, I've never seen a group of guys be better team players in my life. So
Scansey takes another called strike, but you said it's been a few years since you're back in Southern Alberta, so getting to come back with your teammate from last year, Connor Croson, and getting to come play in the WCBL as the sport continues to grow here in Alberta.
100%. Yeah, no, it's definitely good to be back in the hometown. Grew up in Alberta, haven't been back in and around this area in about 4 or 5 years, so it's definitely a nostalgic feeling.
And the sword there for Scansey. I think this might be the first time I've seen him strike out twice in the same game.
Yeah, you're telling me, man, he has been on fire.
But let's talk about that. Returning to Southern Alberta, how much has it meant to be able to get some of the friends and family to come see you live and in person this year?
Nothing more special to me than having family that, especially I haven't seen in a long time, be able to come and see me play the sport I love.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've had some of the high school friends be able to come see you in person for, you said, the first time in 4 or 5 years, and celebrate the successes with you, I'm sure, too.
Yep. Yes, sir. Shout out Gabe Neufeld for coming the other night. That's my guy.
Cote swings the first pitch he sees. That nearly gets through the outfield, but good hard 90 there, even off the soft contact.
We like a little bit of a hustle out of the boys, for sure.
Yeah, and you've seen that with Cote and Brandon Paez, another name that's got some speed out there we've seen throughout this season. But let's talk about the man stepping into the dish, your former Montevallo teammate now, Connor Croson.
Yes, sir. Connor Croson, all-star, of course. That guy, I've never seen more juice out of a human being than him.
Oh, and I think Croson knew that wasn't a strike, but gets called. Not going to say anything more about that one, but
no, we'll just leave it at that.
He was mashing baseballs at Montevallo this year. Like, it was one every 3 games, it seemed, flew over the fence.
Yeah, he was going crazy. I don't know what, it was probably the cafeteria food that we were eating. I think it has +2 power attributes, like you would see in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Connor he was absolutely spectacular at school. And, yeah, he was definitely a good leader on the team as well. And I know for sure he's definitely going to bring that to Tennessee Tech, especially. So, yeah, I'm happy for him.
But goes down on strikes here, and that'll be all she wrote for the home half. We'll do another half inning with Seth here. As Seth's coming for my job. He's as smooth on the mic as I am. But we'll be
this voice. Come on.
We'll be back after these messages.
Okotoks Dawgs, number 40, Chase Tucker.
So the sounds of heave away signal that Chase Tucker has once again come to the mound. And you're saying something about the pitching staff that we've got this year in Okotoks. Why don't you put some words to that so the audience can hear?
I mean, the season said it for itself. I think we've honestly really had a very good collective staff as a whole. Each guy that comes into each game does their job, the middle relief to the closer, even the starters. We've all just been doing a really good job. And especially Chase Tucker. I mean, coming in here, he's 2.70 ERA. That guy is dicing.
Yeah, and gets the call, the first strike here. And that's even with some of the injuries that this Dawgs squad has had. Whether that's, we're talking about yourself, obviously, now. And whether that's a guy like Brody Forno, who in seasons past has been relied upon to eat innings, who's not been available a few times this year, but a lot of the other guys have answered the bell.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, no, it's special to see all these guys, especially growing up and playing against some of these dudes, especially Brody, Connor Croson, and I think maybe even Chase Tucker, Ryan McFarland. I played all those guys during Junior Dawgs Academy back when we were 15 years old, so it's a real good full circle moment to finally be playing with them now.
Yeah, and coming back to try and pick up that fourth title in a row as Chase Tucker, the stuff is working today, gets the strikeout in the first batter he sees. This is a guy that's changed how he's receiving the calls, so changed his mechanics up completely and still working very effectively.
Is what we would call that got him. The pitching language.
Yeah, just very simple. And I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the guys who some people love him, some people hate him, Trevor Bauer. He's really put an eye on how different warming up and how pitchers are working at their bodies. Are you one of the guys that loves him or hates him?
I mean, you got to respect what he does. He's a very successful pitcher, and I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. I definitely think that mentality side of things, he really knows how to teach guys to pitch with looseness and to just have fun and be yourself out there and to really create that I'm better than you mentality, which is honestly a really good thing to have as a pitcher. And I'll see some videos on Instagram. I'll come across like some videos of him explaining mechanics and how to move and focal points on what you need to focus on pitching, and I couldn't agree more what he says. So obviously he knows ball. He made it to the MLB. But yeah, I definitely agree with what he's talking about. But that dude is probably one of the craziest animals I've seen step on a baseball field, and it's electric. I love it because it just brings life to the game.
Long fly ball here, but Logan Grant not behind the plate today, but makes the catch out and left. That's one of those guys that's also, I'm not going to say crazy like Trevor Bauer, but plays a crazy amount of positions out there on the ball field.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not my notice. When he actually first got to the team, he told me he was a catcher, and I thought he was an outfielder, but then he also said he was an outfielder and also an infielder.
Yeah, we've seen him on the hot corner even, so.
Yeah, we did. And then I also asked if he pitched, but no, he doesn't.
I want to see him pitch like we've seen Connor Croson pitch. And how about we keep you for one more half an inning? Because that one was pretty quick.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Catch made, and the Dawgs put another 0 up on the scoreboard. We'll be back after these messages.
The Okotoks Dawgs would like to extend a very happy birthday to the following fans joining us at tonight's game. Happy 10th birthday to Brad. Thanks for being such a big dog fan. Happy birthday to Jared Barone. Enough to turn 15 today. A big shout out to some fans in Section 103 who are here from South Prairie, New Brunswick.
Conrad Krauser once again joined by Seth Gurr and
Number 44.
Nash Kroll. I've been calling him Nash Dash because he's got 2 steals in the last 2 ball games. Very athletic. Our first baseman / DH in the last few days.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Nash is absolute, again, great player.
Even better person.
Even better person. Yeah, great dude. And, yeah, he does it all, clearly.
I always say it's the love of the game for Nash Kroll. Doesn't have too much flash, doesn't wear the batting gloves, just out there because he loves baseball.
Exactly. And that's all that matters, really, at the end of the day.
And a young 22 for Nash Kroll, just celebrated his birthday a few weeks ago. The boys' party that went up when he had his birthday?
Always. Yeah, we got the teammates, always. Happy birthday, Nash.
Belated.
Belated.
But Nash, good eye there. Watch that one fly foul. I've heard he's a little bit of a prankster in the locker room. Can you confirm or deny?
I will confirm. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to become a target. But I will say that majority of the team are a bunch of pranksters. So, you know, we like to keep it loose and silly in there and have fun.
Yeah, and as long as you don't take it personal.
No, never. Never.
2-1 the count to Nash Kroll. Again, one of those guys attending Tennessee Tech next year.
Congratulations, Nash.
And fouls that one off, works the count to 2-2. Rochelle, as you said, seems to have some velo there for the second arm for the Gulls.
Noah Syndergaard up there.
Yeah, I was going to go more Surfer, but I guess that was kind of always, it was either Surfer or Thor for Noah Syndergaard. But he's right in the time of day when the sun's right in your eyes as a pitcher here at Siemens Stadium.
Yeah, not my favorite moment.
Yeah, it's when that sun starts to set and it's just coming over the Duvernay Fieldhouse.
Yeah, it's bad. No, Mr. Nash Kroll himself up to bat right now, he tends to mess with me a little bit, giving me back the ball whenever I do a pickoff.
Does that one stay fair? It will not. It'll banana into the corner, and that was about 3 yards to the right. You might have seen Nash try and dash for 3, and I want to see that. Get the big legs moving.
Oh, he can beat Usain Bolt.
3-2 the count to Kroll, none away. Oh, and Nash does not like that call. Neither does a lot of the press box. I think we'll leave that where that's at, and you can see the facial expression that Seth just made.
Yep, we'll see about that.
That'll hand off to Jake Skaggs, the big, tall lefty, playing in center today. One of those Penn State boys that we're not allowed to tell on air.
I mean, yeah.
When you get Ricky and Caden in the same car, I'm sure there was more than a few chuckles and guffaws.
Oh, for sure. You know, like I said, we're always just being silly and having fun. You know, creating memories. Living the best that we can. Playing some baseball. Skaggs, absolute utility for this team. Great guy.
That one bounces away. So I've learned about, because when you're a kind of a casual baseball fan, you don't understand that sometimes you're intentionally spiking that ball off the plate, trying to get the swings.
Yep. Definitely when you're ahead in the count, like 0-2, 1-2, you want to change his eye level a little bit. You
bury the curve.
Yep, bury the curve, and then, I mean, next pitch, yeah, come with the heat like he just did right there.
But a good piece of hitting there by Skaggs, just paints it down into right field and gets a runner on. And I've been calling Aiden Rose your dog's favorite dog all season, one of the favorites in the locker room, and I always joke, the nicest guy to ever walk out to bad company.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, Aiden Rose, very humble dude, very nice. Love that guy. As he watches us back, I will say that his persona is pressure.
Takes inside. Good eye from the 5-year dog. Started back in the COVID season here with Okotoks.
Not a good year.
No, 6 WCBL teams, 2 dog squads. My first year out here in the press box. Rose. Good eye again. Saw the pitch inside and saw the outside, and 2-0 count.
UBC Thunderbird as well. Shout out British Columbia.
Yeah, one of those Canadian teams who does get to play in those expanded super regionals. Rose takes inside again and ahead 3-0. Does he get the green light to swing at the 3-0 pitch?
I think we're going to take this one.
Gurr says take all the way.
But we might go for the Rose Garden.
I need to rename the core 4 if he puts it out there. With 3-0 delivery, and Rose takes the whole way, and 4-pitch walk for Aiden Rose. Seth got the crystal ball. And now we'll head to the bottom of the order. One of the deepest positions on this Dawgs squad is the catching staff. So let's see what Chase Logan, the most recent addition after his deep run with Lynn Benton this year. And it's kind of old school baseball having your catcher in the 9-hole.
Yeah, a little bit.
Checks up at second, and that's 5 straight balls. Not getting many of these dogs to get the bat off their shoulder. That's going to be a mound visit. There's the big Div 1 school when you do the 4-pitch walk, they start chanting ball 5 at you. Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
Would that rattle you as a pitcher?
I mean, the number one thing you're trying to do as a pitcher is not let anything get to your head. But if you're this kid, clearly it's gotten to his head.
Yeah. And it's a little bit of a rotated squad as well for the Gulls. And obviously had to have the third base substitution. Oh, no, I'm incorrect. Looks like it might have been another position where there was a substitution.
The team does look a little different.
Yeah.
Last time we played them.
That is the WCBL. Some players come and go. Finally finds the outside of the strike zone. 1-1 the count. But yeah, Chase Logan obviously gets that extended year with Lynn Benton going all the way to the finals, and then comes up and joins a strong platoon of catchers helping you guys and the pitching staff out.
Oh, for sure.
That one gets away, and actually, that's the second time Chase Logan's been hit tonight.
Ball magnet is what we would call it.
A little bit extra Tiger Balm maybe after the game, address those bumps and bruises.
A little bit, rub some dirt on it.
And all aboard for the man, the myth, the legend, Ricardo Sanchez. And I never want to say this, but last 2 days have been a bit of a struggle at the plate for Ricky.
Yeah, I think that's, then again, just a classic example of baseball.
Yeah, you were saying that when we were talking before the game today.
Yeah, just some days you have it, and then some days you don't. But it's all about the consistency, and I definitely think this is a good spot for Ricky to.
And for Ricky, the 5-year dog, 5-year starter, you got to believe that underneath it all, there's a fantastic baseball player, and obviously, you've seen the highlight from last year with his bunt single to defeat these Gulls in 2 games.
Oh yeah, Ricky is an absolute great asset to the team, for sure. I mean, he's also the stats speak for themselves.
You see that OPS of 900, like insane.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, we look at this lineup, everybody's batting 300 or better.
That's what I'm saying.
Makes your life a lot easier as a pitcher knowing that that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Sanchez takes a called first strike. 1 away here in the home half of the 6th. And you see so many of these guys that have come through this Dawgs Academy, like Ricky, like Connor, guy we're going to talk to after you, Benito Benitez. That one's a called strike. How much does it mean knowing that you've got all these guys that have come through a development system that's got a huge pedigree already?
It's like I said, it's very confidence boosting when you're out on the mound, knowing that you just have such a team of high caliber. Growing up, they've been through all the right type of developmental stages, and They've always had that guidance as to how to get better.
Yeah, and now that these young guys, that having Matt Stairs as your hitting coach coming up, I don't think there's many more that you can get better. And
no, yeah, I agree. And even growing up too, when I was in high school, I thought about coming to Okotoks, and just because like you hear it all throughout the country how successful they are, and I mean it shows.
And Ricky Sanchez, is that ball gone? The launch angle not quite there, but it will allow the tag up, and the tying run will score. So the RBI for Ricky, and the game is tied back up at 4. I just wish that launch angle was a little bit lower. The wind had started to pick up as the scene has started to swirl. In the first 3 innings, that's a home run. But the wind has changed, and
nothing much you can do there. Put a good swing on it.
And you tied the ball game. That's the worst, and that'll hand off to Logan Grant. He had 937 OPS. And he's only been here for, this is game number 9, 2 home runs on the air, and no better opportunity than now. I'll speak that into existence as he takes that one out away from
feeling nice watching a game and just not having a single doubt for each hitter that comes up that they can get the job done. It's something special for sure.
And as we've seen with this Dawgs squad, a lot of small ball this year, not necessarily relying on those big flies as Grant spins away from that.
Yep. Good old gritty classic baseball.
Classic baseball, just hand it off to the next guy in the order, and you can win a game by hitting about 70 singles just as much as you can with one long fly.
Absolutely.
0-2 to Logan Grant. Now he's seen the off speed though, so knows what the stuff is. But what does it say to have LG come back to the squad year after year for what it says of the quality of the league?
I mean, clearly he's been producing for the Dawgs for a long time. He's a really special player.
And one of those few guys that it has Vauxhall and Dawgs Academy on his resume.
Yeah.
So I've seen all the academies throughout Alberta.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that up-and-coming Energy City program that they say they're building. I'll when it comes to fruition, I'll comment more on that. 3-1 here to Grant, and that one will skip away. Dawgs running hard, and we saw this in the previous half inning. Throw is not in time, and Logan Grant takes the walk and turns it into an extra bag. The Dawgs with their first lead of the game. And that's been the story of the Dawgs, as in time immemorial, aggressive base running. And it comes into profit here, and Logan Grant turns a walk into an extra base.
Small ball, ladies and gentlemen. Exhibit A.
But the Dawgs take their first lead of the game, and if I had to say who I'd want in a scenario like this, Zane would be top of the list.
Never a doubt.
Well, another one of those 2025 All-Stars. And batting around 400, and that one off the plate. Ahead in the count, 1-0. And we didn't even have to throw the bats out onto the clay today to wake them up. Had to do that a few times this year.
Yep.
But the 2-out rally continues for the Dawgs, and Scansey, almost found that one down the line, but it is caught on the double clutch by Matt Barnett. Seth, thank you so much for joining. We might have you back as you near your recovery, but thank you so much for joining us here in the broadcast booth.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Go Dawgs.
Go Dawgs. We'll be back after these messages.
The 7th inning is presented by 8 Farmers of Alberta. Alberta 8 Farmers are proud to provide fresh, affordable local eggs every day. Eggs, a nutritional powerhouse with 6 grams of protein that knocks it out of the park.
So Chase Tucker comes to the mound for another inning of work. Do have someone warming in the Dawgs bullpen. Cam McLeod comes to the dish. Infield fly, Croson and Sanchez. Eventually it will be Ricky Sanchez who will make the catch. Good Arnauti from Cam McLeod though. But one away in the top half of the seventh. So it is the center fielder, Davis, who is replacing Baker, I do believe. Takes a called strike. Called strike. So down 2-1. Tucker heaves away. Doesn't get the call. So Baker is still in the game. So I'll try and figure out how they've shifted defensively. Hit, hot shot. Croson gathers. Throw across the infield. Out of range. But the Dawgs have the runner caught in a pickle. Croson covers second. They don't make the throw. They do make the tag. And they get out of that scenario to the Dawgs. Aggressive base running, but the Dawgs flipping around a few times. And after the overthrow and the error, assessed to Connor. So Connor will get assessed the error, but the rundown eventually does get the runner out. So error doesn't lead to anything. So we're back to the top of the order with Yukamuto. Takes the called first strike. Aggressive base running turned into an out, just a little over aggressive. As the Dawgs at least have gotten some good bounces off the fences. Tucker buried that one into the dirt, 1-1. One and one the count. That one's put high into the Okotoks skies. Running over and making the plays, Zane Scansey. And the Dawgs, 1-2-3 from Chase Tucker. And they maintain their lead, 5-4. We'll be back after these messages.
Have you ever wondered if there's one thing that connects people from across our province? Something that connects the coffee shop to the spray park, or the brewery to the rodeo, the campground to the sports field, the friend next door, with your family in the next town, the dealership with the ice cream shop. It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected, because it truly is. And it's all we think about, so you don't have to.
So Leo Cote will step into the batter's box.
Now batting number 46, Leo Cote.
Cote has been playing very, very well at first. He'll see that one down in the dirt. So 1-0 to Leo Cote. Those orange Oregon Beaver gloves. Fouls that one off. 1-1 the count. So it is Bryce Hampton who I can confirm is out of the game. So they've shifted Baker to left, and it is Lewis in center. That one off the end of the bat, and it'll be through. Cote, and again with the hard 90. Love to see that from a young man. He'll hand off to Connor Croson.
Now batting number 10, Connor Croson.
So Connor Croson steps into the dish with Cote over at first. Checks up on Cote, but delivers to Cote. 1-0 the count to Connor Croson. That one's inside to Croson, but Croson, as you can see, looking back immediately, not knowing where the edges of this strike zone are. But he'll be happy to be ahead 2-0. Rochelle checks up at first. Cote slides in, gets a little bit of red clay on that white Oko jersey. Croson shakes the dust off his glasses. He'll step back in. Croson 1 for 3 on the evening. Rochelle picks off towards Cote again. Brandt doesn't apply the tag. The 2-0 count to Croson. Pitch finally does come home, nowhere near the strike zone. 3-0 count to Croson. Gulls do have a man warming up. Can't catch a number on man who's warming up, but I think this will be the last pitch for Rochelle. There will be a 4-pitch walk issued to Connor Croson. So Nash Kroll will have to wait a little bit extra.
Now batting number 44, Nash Kroll.
And the walk will be made now at the absolute last minute. Trying to get the number on the young man who's walking in. So it's Mickey McClaskey out of Gonzaga now standing on the mound. Lake Oswego, Oregon.
Now on the mound,
McClaskey, as I said, out of Lake Oswego, Oregon, a righty this year. 9 games played, 1 win, 1 loss, an ERA of 2.63. And he's been their closer this year. He has 3 saves on the year, over 13.2. At traditional I do have someone as well starting to throw that rubber ball against the wall, so you have to think this may only be an inning for Mickey. As I said, he's played 9 games, only pitched 13.2, 24 strikeouts, 9 walks awarded, but has only given up 7 hits on the year. You can see what Gonzaga has seen out of this 6'3" unit on the. I might have been a little over dramatic on saying it's a traditional over the top. This is his last warm-up pitch. Final fastball finds the zone. The Dawgs will jog out to their respective bases. Cote out at second, Croson at first, and Nash Kroll steps in the batter's box. Has a little bit of a conversation with McLeod. Cote's a fun player to watch. As I said, he hustled down that first base line with a hard 90. Klasky shakes off the first call he sees. Eventually will come set. Takes a look to second. Elects to come home. That one's spiked into the dirt. Will get all the way to the backstop, so the runners both will advance there. So 2 runners in scoring position here for the Nash dash Crowell. One and 0 to Nash. The first one spiked into the dirt. And Kroll pops this one up on the infield. Barnett over to gather, 1 away. So 1 away here in the home half of the 7th. Dawgs lead 5-4.
Now number 3, Jake Skaggs.
And Jake Skaggs steps in to the batter's box. Skaggs is 2 for 3 on the evening. That one down at the shins. 1-0. Has not hit against McClaskey yet this year, but I do believe this is the first time for them seeing each other. McClaskey, a 2.63 ERA across those 13 2/3 that I talked about. That one's down in the dirt. Cote took a few strides towards home, but did not elect to test that one as it barely got to the Dawgs logo on the grass. The Skaggs in a 2-0 count. First base is open. Trying to change the eye level of Skaggs, but again, can't find the strike zone. 3 straight balls to Skaggs. The first batter that Mickey McClaskey has seen. Splasky has issued 9 free passes so far this season. And he'll issue his 10th to Jake Skaggs, and suddenly the bases are full of Dawgs. So 4 straight balls. The first 4 pitches of McClaskey, and Sylvan is giving the hurry up to their pitcher, who they have warming in the bullpen. So the Dawgs costing a bunch more arms than you like if you're a fan of the Gulls. 5 straight balls now from McClaskey. Hayden Rose, no reason to take the bat off his shoulder. Says, show me a strike before I swing. And he has finally shown a strike. 1-1 the count. Hayden Rose out of the University of British Columbia steps back in. He's 0 for 2. Has reached once on a walk. Rose puts that one right back up the middle. It's softly hit. The toss not in time. And Aiden Rose hits it up the middle for the RBI. Or rather, he reached on an error earlier. So we do have an issue, though, as out there at second base, Jake Skaggs looks like he might have dinged himself up sliding into second. Might be time to consider, yeah, he's got a hitch in his giddy up. So I wonder if there will be a pinch runner required, and doesn't look like they'll go that direction quite yet. But we'll head to the bottom of the order for the man that's been plunked more than he's struck out. 0 for 1, but has been hit by a pitch twice. Logan checks the swing, but it's going to be a called strike anyways. 0-1 with 1 away here for Logan. Bases full of Dawgs. That one misses out of the top. 1-1 the count, and seen a couple signs from the Gulls dugout to the bullpen saying, hustle up, get warm as quick as you can. 1-1 to Logan. That was nowhere near. And for a guy that has 3 saves on the year, the stuff doesn't seem to be there. 2-1 count here for Chase Logan out of Lynn Benton Community College, your catcher today. Swings over the top of that fastball. And almost a look of release there from McClaskey. The 2-2 to Chase Logan. Bases are loaded. Logan fouls that one off. Nearly hits the guy that's working the bullpen. But staying alive here is Chase Logan. The 2-2 to Logan. All over again. Fouled off in the same direction. Logan's just being considerate and letting the Gulls pitcher get a few extra pitches in out there in the bullpen. And he's looking to drive in a couple of Dawgs. Dawgs lead 6-4 here in the bottom half of the 7th. Calgary sky, or Okotoks sky has started cloudy, have now cleared up, and Logan swings underneath that one. It will be another strikeout for the Gulls pitching staff. To the top of the inning we go, Ricardo Sanchez. 1 for 3, but he has 2 RBIs. And I'm watching Gulls management. They're going to say, no, we're not going to take McClaskey off the mound. So Sanchez versus McClaskey. Sanchez fouls off the first pitch he sees. 0-1 the count for Ricky. Ricky, who did miss a little bit of the season to go attend his former Dawgs, well, the former Dawg and his brother Eric's birthday, or wedding rather. That one high and outside, 1-1. Of course, that was down in La Ciudad de Mexico, Mexico City. So, took about 10 days off, but still having a heck of a season, enough to be named an All-Star. I think there might have been an uprising here in Okotoks if he wasn't named to the All-Star game. 1-1 the count for Ricardo. That one down into the dirt. 2-1. Bases juiced for Ricky Sanchez, ahead in a 2-1 count. Fouls that one off, so we'll go to 2-2. He was mic'd up yesterday for one of his at-bats. I didn't see that one get posted to social media. Ricky steps back into the batter's box. 5-year Okotoks dog and fan favorite. That one's down, so Ricky's worked the count full. Ricky adjusts those batting gloves before stepping back in. A 3-2 count to Ricky Sanchez. Runners go, Sanchez swings, and it gets through. Ricky points the dugout as he doubles the Dawgs lead. Throw not in time. Let's make it 4 RBI on the evening for Ricardo Sanchez as the 2-out rally continues. And that will be the end of the evening for Mickey McClaskey. And I said a guy that was struggling at the plate for the last 2 days, but obviously does enough to score 4 RBIs tonight. And it's Nick Vestalinovic. So Vestalinovic steps in the LaSalle, Ontario. And if I said the last pitcher was a mountain on the mound, the 6'5" lefty steps on. Vestalinovic, 9 games played, 2 starts, 1 save. 2-2 the record. ERA a little bit inflated, 4.64. But 21.1 innings pitched, 29 Ks. Gets all of that leverage from that 6'5" frame Looks like there's a lot of velo on the fastball for Veselinovic, attending Winthrop University. A 6'5" lefty. What a weapon to have out of your bullpen. Doesn't seem overly comfortable on the mound, does Veselinovic. His last appearance did pick up a win July 8th when he came in for 1.1 against the Brooks Bombers in Brooks. So to go 1.1 with one strikeout and only 4 batters faced to pick up the win out there in the city that smells like money. Truly a feat. So runners still on the corners for the Dawgs. They lead by a score of 8-4. Remember, the Dawgs did trail in this game 3-0 when they came out to start their half of the second inning. The Dawgs have exploded for 3 runs here in the bottom half of the 7th. Logan Grant, the left fielder today, steps into the batter's box. He's 0 for today, but has advanced on a walk earlier. Logan Grant swings the first offering, fouls that off. I think that one flew over the parking lot. Oh, and 1 for Logan Grant. Grant gulps that one into the right field. Another run. So all the Dawgs have recorded hits. And the Dawgs continue this 2-out rally.
Now that is number 12.
So Zane Scansey comes to the dish. Coming into today, batting .398. So what can Zane do for you? Takes the first pitch down at the knees. He's ahead 1-0. And I said everyone has got a hit today. That does not include Zane Scansey. I thought he had a hit, but I am incorrect. Has not reached base yet today. Takes the 12-6 change for a strike. Same arm slot there, but boy, that changeup, when you compare it to the fastballs we've been seeing, quite a change of pace and a lot of movement. Sanchez, healthy lead off a second. But when that looping change does come in and doesn't find the strike zone, it's nowhere close. It's a problem when you can have too much movement. Two and one for Scansey. Fastball didn't drop at all. 3-1. And if I'm Zane Scansey, I'm just happy with reaching base here. As we've said, when Seth Gura was in the press box with us, the Dawgs' masterful small ball game continues. And it will be a 4-pitch walk, or rather actually a 5-pitch. Was a strike call in there. But Scansey reaches base for the first time today. All aboard here for the big, tall first baseman, Leo Cote.
Now batting, number 46, Leo Cote.
Leo Cote, 2 home runs on the year. And there will be a mound visit here. Cam McLeod obviously not communicating well with his pitchers, so he'll go and just say, I think your stuff's still good. We got this. Let's get something along the ground. Give us a chance. And Leo Cote says, I want to put it on the core 4. Cote bases once again full of Dawgs. As I said, Cote, 2 home runs already this year. That red bat in motion. Takes the fastball, fouls it off. 0-1 for Cote. That one down in the dirt, 1-1. One and one, the count to Cote. 2 away, but the Dawgs have sent 4 to the plate. They're sent 4 across home plate. Cote bends back. The bender doesn't bend back into the strike zone. 2-1 to Cote. Nobody warming for the Gulls. Looks like Veselinovic might be the one charged with going the rest of the way. That one in the dirt. 3-1 the count once again. Does Cote have the green light? Cote gets set in that very active batter's stance. Pitch. Cote golfs this one into center field. It'll be fielded, however, but not before the Dawgs nearly bat around and score 4. The reversal of fortune, the Dawgs now lead by a score of 9-4.
50-50 time. Let's give away some money. $1,427.50. Not bad. $1,427 going to a CD tidbit. C10874. That is C10874. If that is your ticket, congratulations, you're $1,400 richer. You play your ways in the Dawgs office. And remember, we do post our 50-50 number every single game on our social media. Thank you for supporting Dawgs Baseball. C10874.
The 8th game is presented by the Gateway Game and Casino. On the same place to stay and play. Now on the mound for the Okotoks Dawgs, number 31, Alex Oliver.
Alex Oliver now on the mound for your Okotoks Dawgs. Getting a little bit of a lighter leverage load for him today at a Colorado State Pueblo. Misses outside. Gets a swing over the top of that ball. Jaden Flores, 1-1, has also reached on a walk. Two and 1 the count for Oliver. That one bounces in, so we'll make it 3-1. Bounced off the knee there for Chase Logan. Right in the heart of the order, it's Flores, Tiarina, then Quick for the Gulls. Trying to come back in this one. They led 3-0 after 2, and that will be a walk issued on 5 pitches for Oliver. That'll hand off to Tiarina. Tiarina 1 for 1. Good old 100% on base percentage. It's not a bad day for the pinch hitter today. I had some light criticism for putting the designated hitter in the 3 spot, but it's been working for the Gulls. Tiarina skies that one in the direction of Logan Grant. Grant settles under it, and they'll get that ball back in a hurry. Tiarina retired for the first time in the ballgame. So Michael Quick, the right fielder, will step into the batter's box. Oliver taking an extra long time, gets the call, strike in the bottom of the strike zone. Ahead, 0-1. One away after that long fly. Swing and a miss. Oliver working very effectively. Alex Oliver looking for a strikeout here. Ahead 0-2. Logan sets up center. Looks like that might have been a pitch out, but Ricky can apply the tag. So they'll call it a ball and the runner will advance. So 1-2 the count. So some aggressive base running coming out of the Gulls, knowing that they need 5, and they've only got 2 innings to do so. We're in the top of the 8th here in Okotoks. My name's Conrad Krauser. Batter will call time. Oliver took a little too long. Good contact on that one, but it's going to soar into the glove in foul territory of Connor Croson. 2 away for Oliver. Alex Oliver out of Grove, Oklahoma. As I said, attending the University of Colorado Pueblo. He's been very excellent this year. 14 games played, 2 wins and 1 loss on his record, in addition to a save. Rocking at 15 shutouts and 15.2 coming into today. And only issued 1 walk entering the ball game today. Good contact. That'll send Scansey racing in. The runner fell, but he goes to third instead of home. A little bit of a mental error. And the Gulls do score a run. That throw had gone home, you likely would have gotten the runner. So that will hand off to Simon Baker. The lefty stands in. 3.33 OBP, but over 2 on the night. Ooh, Cote had to be aware there as that one was a little outside the frame, but we've seen a couple of those pickoff attempts bounce off the fence and turn into outs tonight. Oliver checks over his shoulder once, twice, 3 times, delivers home. That one's down in the dirt. So the first pitch to Baker is a ball. The 1-0 pitch delivered. Back pick, not in time. Logan makes the throw from his knees, can't get it there in time. Two and 0 for Oliver. Checks up at first. Paints the outside corner. 2-1 for Alex Oliver. Fans clap in appreciation. Maybe a little extra loud after the throw came to third instead of home. 2-1 the count, 2 away. Oliver delivers. Gets some good contact. It will be foul, and trying to make the play was Logan Grant. He wasn't far away, but couldn't quite get there. Long jog back to first there for O'Connor. Two and 2 the count. Finish him flashing on the ribbon board. And that one will be through. Rose tried to make the sliding grab. Play is to third. Once again, throw cut off. And it's now runners on the corners for the Gulls. Oliver's gotten himself into some good scenarios, but just some textbook hitting there from the Gulls, and there will be a conversation before Brandt steps into the box. Eventually, Pentland says we've had enough conversation. Let's get this game back on the rails as the beautiful Alberta sunset begins coming through. Of course, our lights powered by Fortis Alberta, allowing us to continue playing this game. Simon Baker fouls that first pitch off. Correction. I think that may be a pinch hitter. It could be wrong, though. No, it is Brandt. Baker's at first. Just my brain not fully functioning. 0-1. Swings over the top. Does Brandt. And suddenly a dominating 0-2 count for Oliver. So went to the off speed to get strike 2. Oliver delivers. Called strike 3. The Gulls plate 1 to bring it a little bit closer, but Oliver shuts the door. We'll be back for the Dawgs half of the 8th when we return here on Dawgs Baseball. So Connor Croson steps into the batter's box, leading off the home half of the 8th. 9 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. The stat line for the Dawgs. The Gulls, 5 runs, 7 hits on 2 errors. Croson, good eye. He's ahead 1-0. Croshow swung at that one, and sounds like the bat is no longer in one piece. Needs a new piece of lumber. He'll step back in, and Veselinovic took a long wander around the mound as Connor takes that new donated piece of lumber. And he'll step in. That doesn't look like it's, so he usually has a bat with the grip tape on it. Doesn't look like there's any tape on that bat. That one just a bit outside. 2-1 the count. Connor Croson with those pink batting gloves steps his way back into the batter's box. Nash Kroll in the on-deck circle. Veselinovic delivers. Isn't getting the right angle on his pitches. 3-1 the count. And the Dawgs do have Easton Corey warming up. Not a save situation at this point, but Connor Croson will take the lead-off walk, and the Gulls are sending another pitcher to start warming up. The sounds of Funky Town come from the speakers at Siemens Stadium. That can only mean one thing. That can only mean Nash Kroll. Kroll has a steal tonight. As I said, his second in as many days. He'll take that one for a ball. Nash puts that one high in the Okotoks sky. It'll be a long run for Quick, but he'll get there. One away.
Now landing, number 3, Jake Skaggs.
Jake Skaggs approaches the dish. Croson stands at first. Dawgs lead 9-5, and that one exit the ball field with a little bit of velo behind it. 0-1 the count. Good eye there from Skaggs. Ball called. So 1-1 the count. Ooh. Healthy swing there from Skaggs. Skaggs 2 for 3, but has reached base 3 times out of the 4 appearances. Lefty on lefty. That one just missed. And you could tell that Veselinovic thought that was a strike. He started taking his walk around his mound, but does not get the call. It'll be 2-2. Veselinovic all the way to the left-hand side of the rubber. Delivers. Skaggs fouls off another one. So Skaggs will step back in. Veselinovic might be reaching the end of the proverbial juice box. Skaggs will level that one into right field. Great piece of hitting there, and the Dawgs have 2 aboard. Croson advances to second on the hit. Aiden Rose will step in the batter's box.
Now that is number 1, Aiden Rose.
I thought they were going to relieve Veselinovic here, but they have not stepped off of the top step. Have the Gulls coaching staff said they do have a pitcher warming. Rose takes the first delivery from the lefty Veselinovic, called a strike. Rose 1 for 3 on the evening. Now batting below 300, but 293 still is not bad. That one missed. 1-1. That one inside. Looks like a piece of the padding from the catcher. Or might have been the earpiece. Came free of the gear of McLeod, but he'll put everything back together and send up the sign. 2-1, the count to Aiden Rose. Connor Croson at second. Jake Skaggs at first. And yeah, I think that will be the end of the night for Veselinovic. Those 12-6 changes nowhere near the zone, and just confidence not there for the 6'3" lefty. Rose gets a piece of it, but it'll slice into the Arcandi Outdoor Training Facility. Rose tried to paint that right field line. Allow Connor Croson to motor his way home. Put the Dawgs into double digits. Croson dancing at second, trying to distract Veselinovic, and Rose fouls another one off. I don't know if they've told the arm they had warming to stop throwing because they're going to leave Veselinovic out, or if he's decided that he's ready. Veselinovic checks up at second. Croson, healthy secondary lead. Rose, infield fly rule will be in effect, and Rose is retired. So Chase Logan steps in out of Oyen, Alberta, the home of the historic game that the WCBL put on this year. Oyen, Alberta. So that one misses wide left. 1-0 the count to Logan. Attending Lynn Benton Community College, but 0 for 2 tonight. But 500 OBP has walked twice, or was struck by a pitch twice. 1-1. Veselinovic asking for your signal again. Step off from Veselinovic. Miscommunications coming in here for Veselinovic. And the catcher today, Cam McLeod. McLeod sets up inside. Ball didn't drift back into the strike zone, so we'll be 2-1 here to Chase Logan. Logan trying to advance on base without being struck by the ball for the first time. Fouls it right above our broadcast location. Just adding pitches to the big, tall lefty. Veselinovic shakes off the first sign, takes a brief look towards Connor Croson, eventually delivers to Logan, gets the stringing swing, drop third strike, but the throw eventually does make its way to first. Dawgs fail to score, but now need to shut it down in the top of the ninth when we return on the other side of these messages.
Number 2, Brooks Bachman.
He'll step in. Yeah, Brooks Bachman playing for the wrong team in this league. Out of San Diego, California, batting .297. Corey, first pitch of his evening in the dirt. 1-0. Croson playing a little bit closer on the pull side. Swing and a miss. 1-1 for Corey. Bachman attending Colorado Mesa University. First time I've seen that. We've seen a lot of Colorado Pueblo in the WCBL this year. 1-1. Corey misses outside. Easton Corey out of Pendleton, Oregon, attending Lynn Benton Community College, the pipeline to the WCBL. That one into the dirt again. 3-1 for Corey. Corey, the big, tall right-hander, looks at the baseball, says, "Why aren't you going where I want you to?" Takes the sign from Logan. Pitch fouled off. Went about a mile in the air. So the count is full here for Corey as he stares down the pinch hitter, Bachman. Corey delivers. Fouled off. It is Kyle Lewis on deck. Lewis came in after an injury earlier in the game. But we'll talk about him after this at bat with Brooks Bachman. Bachman fouls off another pitch. Continues the fight against Easton Corey. Corey, the second year with the Dawgs, 0-1. But that's not where the story ends. It's a 1.17 ERA, 3 saves on the year, filling that role vacated by the injured Ashton Luera. That one put onto the berm, so we'll go to 3-2 all over again. Looks like the shoelace might have come undone there for Corey. Or maybe the Velcro strap got that done real quickly. 3-2, Corey wondering when he needs to pull out of the bag of tricks to get Bachman out. But he'll issue the walk. Went with the high heat, couldn't elicit a swing. So Bachman will get a walk in his pinch hit. So Kyle Lewis steps in out of Lubbock, Texas, attending Lubbock Christian. Played so far in 6 games this year, batting a 1.76. Corey delivers and plunks him. Not what you want to see if you're a Dawgs fan. And the Dawgs will have a meeting at the mound. So, back to the top of the order with Tai Yukamoto. Dawgs do have an arm warming in the bullpen. Runners at first and second, none away in the top of the 9th. Gulls only trail by 4. Corey authoritative with that first pitch. Strike on the outside corner. 0-1 to Yukamoto. Yukamoto 1 for 4 on the evening. Corey delivers home. Tried to get Yukamoto to swing at the high heat yet again. That not coming off the shoulder. That one's outside. Good snag from Chase Logan. 2-1 the count, and the jeers are coming from the Gulls dugout. So meeting at the mound. Corey getting himself into a bit of a pickle here. 2-1, none away, and runners at second and first. Corey comes set. The pitch. Inside, 3-1. Out of character for Easton Corey. Corey delivers, and that one's hitting the right field. The runner is going, throw comes home. No play at the plate. Gulls have runners at the corners and none away, and the tying run coming to the plate. Jaden Flores coming to the dish, and they're going to try and let Corey get out of it. Outside, and you've seen this story earlier last week. Now, the Dawgs couldn't quite close out a game and then lose in overtime to Brooks. Runner goes, pitches inside, and 2-0, Easton Corey. Corey misses again, and frustration visible from the tall righty. And there's more activity or liveliness coming from the Bulls dugout. Corey comes set, 3-0. And he has delivered a 4-pitch walk to load the bases. That'll be the end of the game there for Corey, and I think it's Frank Flores Jr. by the looks of it. And it looks like Frank Flores has a new glove, so it fooled me. So Frank Flores Jr. with the runners full, or the bags full of Gulls. So high pressure on Flores. Not accountable for any of the runs on base, but hoping that doesn't come into effect is Frank Flores Jr. As it is the DH T Arena warming up. Yeah, Flores not using the usual orange glove as a blue mitt on his left hand. Flores says, I'm done. I'm warm. Let's get this game back underway. Brock Tiarina steps into the batter's box. Also attending Lubbock Christian, but out of Andrews, Texas. Batting .276. Frank Flores Jr. needs 3 outs and ideally less than 3 runs. Across the dish. He'll step off. Frank Flores Jr. Colorado State Pueblo delivers a called strike just above the knees to Brock Tiarina. Flores 2-1, 4.90 ERA in 15 games, 14.2 innings. And having trouble with the signs here is Flores. So we'll just have a quick meeting with Chase Logan. So Flores communicating what he needs from his catcher. Also had Connor Croson in on the communication. One of your veteran leaders. Flores delivers outside, knocked down by Logan, 1-1. Frank Flores Jr. trying to get the Dogs out of a jam. Pitch fouled off. He's ahead 1-2 on the DH today, Brock Tiarina. Tiarina 1 for 2 and has reached base 3 times. Flores trying to sit him down here. Hit right back up the middle. It bounces off the mound. 1 run will score. A 2nd run will score. So the Gulls now trail by only 1. The Dogs coming to the 9th with a 4-run lead. It's now down to 1. Corners in for the Dogs. Called strike 1. To Michael Quick. Quick 0 for 4 on the day. I think Flores wants this one real bad. Flores takes a peek over his right shoulder. Delivers. Bunt squared, squeezes on, plays to third, not in time. So the suicide squeeze gets nobody. So a bunt single. And once again, the bases are full. What's the saying? Lift small, bunt the ball. Connor comes to the dish. Tying runner 90 feet away for the Gulls. Ball in the dirt. And after singing so many praises for this pitching staff, it's kind of come apart in the seams here in the top of the ninth. Flores. High fly ball. Racing after it is Scansey. Scansey covers a lot of ground, but can't quite get to that one. 1-1 the count here. Now we're going to have a pinch runner out at second. T Arena leaves the game. Aiden McCarris in for him. Macris.
Now batting number 24, Ian Mathis.
Said he was batting, but he's actually pinch running out at second. That one's golfed. It'll get foul. Scansey won't cover Rose. Macris was going there. O'Connor 2 for 4 on the evening. Has one home run on the year. Flores hoping to sit him down. Fouled off, staying alive. No swing there, and it's called a ball. Despite protests from those fans still in the stands here at Siemens Stadium. Bases full of Gulls. That one's chopped up middle. Rose fields, they get the man at second, but it is a tie ball game. With only one away. And here comes a veteran of the WCBL, Matty Fung. Out of Foster City, California. He'll step into left-handed batter's box. Fung swings that baseball. Without the wind, it'll be caught by Grant. Play is at the plate. Grant's throw on the line. Oh, and that one gonna be ruled safe. Seems that the Gulls fans have stayed, and Lou Pote is heated. Lou Pope comes out to argue his case. That's a second play at the plate that the Dawgs have not been happy about. Will that be the story of the ball game tonight? Flores has got 2 outs, but is allowed the Gulls to take the lead. Bryce Turner now steps in. Going to be an interesting to see where everybody lines up defensively for the Gulls. I don't envy my friends over here in the press box trying to figure that one out after all of this. Flores gets a called first strike. Runner at second for the Gulls as they've taken a 1-run lead in the top of the ninth. Apparently that one missed. Turner at the dish as a pinch hitter. He's backed off the plate by Flores. Flores exhales. Takes the sign from Chase Logan. Pitch outside. 3-1 the count. How many times have I said that in the last half of an inning? Flores takes a walk around, does a little bit of construction where his his landing foot comes into contact with the mound. 3-1 the count to Turner. Turner gets a lot of that baseball, but it's lined into the glove of Jake Skaggs. And the Gulls do take the lead. The Dawgs need at least one to force extras. We'll be back with the home half of the ninth when we're back after these messages. A trio of changes. So Bryce Turner is now at first. Out in left is Matty Fung. And we're not sure who the catcher is. It looks like that is Trip Ray, number 13. If my eyes are to be believed. Ricky Sanchez trying to lead off, and as there is a new pitcher into the ball game. That pitcher is Dylan Matnier. 1-1 the count to Ricky. Matnier went to the off speed. Matnier at a UBC, 6'1" lefty. Fans getting loud in the stands for Ricky Sanchez. He swings. That one gonna be over the head of the right fielder. Sanchez gunning for second. Will he go to third? He will hold up at second. A lead-off double for Ricardo for Ricky.
Now batting, number 35, Logan Grant.
That'll hand off to Logan Grant. Logan Grant, as I've said, a late addition to the Dawgs squad, but the ever valuable any position player. Takes inside. Big tall Trip Ray couldn't frame that one up. Yeah, 6'4" Trip Ray behind the dish. Outside. Not the worst if you walk Logan Grant if you're a fan of the Gulls. That would set up the double play. And unlikely to let Ricky Sanchez advance, and we're going to have a timeout. But this meeting at the mound has a lot more oomph to it than you might necessarily suspect. As we said, a lot of defensive substitutions, so a lot of things needed to be relayed to guys who might not be used to playing these positions in this high of a pressure situation. But that's what happens when you're one of the top teams in the WCBL. And I'm talking about both these squads. The 5-run top of the 9th, and the Dawgs need just one to force extras. They're obviously looking for more. Check up at Sanchez at second, and that one nearly plunked Grant. So Grant in a 3-0 scenario. Are the lights gonna be green if it's anything he thinks he can swing at, or the unwritten rule of baseball gonna come into play? Not even close. The Dawgs have runners at first and second, but this does open up the double play ball.
Now batting, number 12, Zane Scansey.
And Zane Scansey, the All-Star, will step up to bat. Coming into today, batting .398, has 7 home runs on the season. Can he do it with one swing of the bat here? A peek over at Sanchez. Delivering, Scansey pulls the bunt. 1-0 the count. Unselfish play there coming from Scansey, willing to lay down the bunt. Now with the first baseman all the way onto the green grass, you have to wonder, the plan has changed. It will not. Scansey puts down the bunt. Play is to third. Zane threw him off the bag. The bags are full of Dogs. The unselfish play from Zane Scansey. And the bags are full. Ricky Sanchez, only 90 feet away. They are going to charge the E1. Leo Cote steps to the dish, and Scansey, he goes to 1 for 5. Cote, 2 for 5 in the ball game. Ricky Sanchez, 90 feet away. None out. A ball to the outfield could do it. Cote takes the first offering. 0-1 to Leo Cote. Cote inside, in and around the hands. Trying to maybe back Cote off the plate. Cote, 2 home runs on the year. Swings over the top of that offering. 1 and 2 for Leo Cote. Bags full of Dawgs. The Dawgs need just 1 to force extras, 2 to win it. Cote, good eye. Takes a look back to talk to Pentland. Count is even. Dawgs fans clap their hands, trying to will this team to a win. 2 and 2 to Cote. Swing and a drive. That'll hit grass. The Dawgs are going. The play's at the plate. The throw. One more time. Leo Cote. In a back and forth battle, Leo Cote is the one that brings him a win home. Your final score, 10-11. Cote stays hot, and the Dawgs remain on top of the West. Right off Conrad Krauser and your entire production crew here at FloCollege. The Dawgs head off on their own swing. We'll be back for 8 in a row at home next week. And once again, let the big dog eat.
Be sure to join us again next Tuesday, July 15th at 7:05 p.m. as the Dawgs take on the Saskatchewan Berries in We Love Farmers Night.